With the Call of Duty League regular season wrapping up, guys, I wanted to go ahead and give you all my predictions on what's going to happen in the Call of Duty League playoffs all the way to the championship and who wins it all at the end. So now that the stage is set, we know exactly where everyone's seated and what it's going to look like at this point in time, guys. And we have to wait until August 19th for the matches to begin. But nonetheless, I didn't think it would be too early to give you guys my predictions on what's going to happen in the Call of Duty League here in its very first year, which is very exciting because at any given point, guys, any of these teams can win it all and really show up, and that's really exciting to say the least. But nonetheless, guys, it's going to be a real road to the championship, and with that, guys, we'll start with match one, that being, of course, the New York Subliners versus the Rocker, who, the Subliners, they won their home series. The Rocker have really showed heart throughout the course of the Call of Duty League this year. I have the Subliners, though, moving on to play against the Chicago Huntsmen, and that means that the Rocker are going to be knocked down to match 5. And then match 2, guys, I've got the London Royal Ravens and the Toronto Ultra. Of course, the Ultra just coming off of the Toronto home series win. I believe that they are going to be confident going into the Call of Duty League playoffs, at least at first, in the first couple, round or so. So they are going to, I believe, win against the London Royal Ravens, even though the London Royal Ravens have had some great, they've done well at times throughout the course of this year as well. So Toronto moves on to play the Florida Mutineers. Now in the bottom half, guys, or the elimination bracket, you have the Los Angeles Optic Gaming and the Los Angeles Guerrillas, the Battle of LA going on here. The Guerrillas have had so many, really, they've had a rough year, let's put it that way. Overall, I believe that Optic Gaming, having some, the past couple of home series have done really well. I believe that they are going to beat the Guerrillas and move on. And then at the bottom, of course, Paris Legion versus the Seattle Surge. I believe, guys, even though the Seattle Surge has had, they've had some bad luck throughout the course of the year, they've had, lots of, changes with their roster and such. I believe that the Legion are going to pull this one out, even though the Seattle Surge would be a great story. So, guys, that leads us to, of course, match 5, which would be the Los Angeles Optic Gaming versus the Minnesota Rocker. I have Optic actually upsetting the Rocker here, moving on to match 9. And then, of course, with match 6, which, of course, is the Paris Legion versus the London Royal Ravens. I have Paris actually winning this one, moving on, another dark horse team. Any of these teams can win at any point, guys. I believe Paris will beat the London Royal Ravens and move on. And then in the top, guys, match 7, you have the Chicago Huntsmen versus the New York Subliners. I love the Subliners, but I got to say I like the Chicago Huntsmen a little bit more in this matchup. So I believe the Chicago Huntsmen will go up against, of course, the Atlanta FaZe. I have, of course, the New York Subliners would end up moving down to play against the Paris Legion. And then, of course, guys, Florida Mutineers, they would be playing the Toronto Ultra. I have the Mutineers moving onwards. The Mutineers have had a great year overall. They will be moving on, and the Ultra will be knocked down, in my opinion. Even though I believe the Ultra have a very good chance of beating the Mutineers, I think Toronto's going to get knocked down to go up against Optic Gaming. And then with that, guys, we move onwards here to match 9, which of course is going to be the Toronto Ultra versus Optic Gaming. I believe, guys, and I know that this is crazy, but my dark horse team in this tournament is Optic Gaming. I have Optic Gaming beating Toronto and sending them home, of course, in match 9. Leading us to match 10, which is going to be New York Subliners versus the Paris Legion. I actually have, in this matchup, I've got New York moving on. I believe New York has shown a lot of grit throughout the course of this season. They've had peaks and valleys just like all these teams, but I've got them taking and beating Paris in match number 10. And then match 11, guys, you got the Atlanta FaZe versus the Chicago Huntsmen. And look, guys, this has been a back and forth matchup. I do believe, though, Atlanta will move on here to the winners finals. I've got them beating Chicago in a close matchup. Chicago will be knocked down, of course, the elimination round. And then we've got Dallas Empire versus none other than the Florida Mutineers. And normally in this matchup, guys, I would actually think maybe Florida had a chance, but Dallas has owned this matchup throughout the course of the year, at least as of late. I've got Dallas moving onwards against, of course, Atlanta FaZe. And then, of course, guys, we have in match 13, a real grudge match here. The Chicago Huntsmen versus Optic Gaming, and I got to say this is going to be one for the ages in my opinion. I do, though, believe that Chicago will come out on top. Optic would have made a very nice run at this point, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be a little bit too much for Optic to really take on. And that leads us, guys, into none other than match 14, which is Florida Mutineers versus the New York Subliners. I do have Florida overtaking this and taking out the New York Subliners at this point, so we will have Chicago versus Florida. Okay? And then, of course, guys, the winners finals. And this is going to be a pretty intense match, I think, between Atlanta FaZe and Dallas Empire. I got to say, though, like Dallas Empire has owned the Florida Mutineers, at least as of late, Atlanta has really done a great job against Dallas. I've got Atlanta FaZe moving on to the championship in the winners finals, and Dallas being knocked down, of course, to the elimination finals. And so then you'll have, of course, Chicago versus Florida. I do have Chicago moving on against Florida. Chicago will play, of course, Dallas in a E Clasico matchup once again. Dallas, of course, I believe will come out on top and victorious here in this matchup. I just believe they've got, I mean, both teams have great veterans and such. People have been there, done that, won a lot. I've got Dallas, though, and I think that the championship will be Dallas versus Atlanta. And I've got Atlanta winning it all because I just don't think Dallas is going to be able to overcome Atlanta in a championship setting coming from the losers bracket. And so with that, guys, I've got Atlanta winning it all. Who knows, though? Anybody could win. Anyone can make a run all the way from the losers bracket to the end, like Optic Gaming, or someone from the top, like the Chicago Huntsmen, could, of course, move all the way down. It's so hard to say, but that's who I've got going. I believe that Atlanta is going to be the team because of where they're positioned and such. Dallas is in a good position as well. I mean, these guys aren't even playing until match 11 and 12 of this tournament, so they've got a lot of time to kind of watch, warm up, get ready, which could be a good thing or could be a really bad thing, but that's what I got, guys. Call of Duty League playoffs will begin August 19th. I'm super excited about it. But this is what I've got. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win COD Champs this year? It's a huge year, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Call of Duty League content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.